If you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell-Rappin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Welcome back, everybody. I want you to cast your imagination right now. What would your business look like? What would you look like? How would you embody the day if fear was not the lead voice singing in the choir that's taking up space in your head, and instead it was your own voice that trusted what it had to say? We're going to talk about that today and how to make that shift from fear-based thinking to the confident I can inner dialogue that truly will open the pathway to success. I'm super excited to introduce you to this amazing woman, Wendy Paige Sterling. She and I have become friends. She is a client of mine, and I'm so excited by the work she is doing that I wanted her to come play in my backyard. So welcome, Wendy. I'm super excited to have you here. I want to talk about,
Thank
first
you.
off, you and this real recognition that fear is optional and you can kick it to the curb.
Yes, you can. And, I know that many of us have that limiting belief inner voice that is constantly speaking to us. And one of the things that I have learned multiple times in creating both of the 6 and 7 figure businesses that I have started is, first and foremost, is really starting to pay attention or create what I call awareness around the voice, and more specifically, the sensations that those voices are creating within your body. So typically, when your intuitive I can voice is speaking to you, it's one that feels calm, it feels clear, it feels grounded, it's centered, it's usually also in a whisper. Versus when you are just completely overwhelmed with that fear-based voice, fear-based thoughts, typically what ends up happening is it's loud, there's tension, there's anxiety, there's sometimes even doubt and confusion that comes with that voice. And so what is so incredibly important that I teach my clients to do when they are trying to distinguish and identify their intuition that I can voice from their fear-based is recognizing that the voices in their head are just that. They are not the same thing, especially when it is fear. And so knowing that your fear is actually coming from what I call future uncertainties that then cloud your judgment with negativity, versus your intuition is actually, yes, it may be creating some discomfort, but ultimately what it's doing is it's actually guiding you gently into a place where growth and alignment with your highest and best exists. So really your I can voice is what is leaning you into and nudging you into your goals and your passions and your aspirations, versus your fear is something that typically tends to be harsh or critical. So I invite your listeners to really think about what is happening within their bodies in that moment to discern between the I can intuitive voice and what is actually fear.
You know what I heard when you said this, and I'm just now thinking this is a total branding moment for you. It's
Yes.
time to feel sensational.
Ooh, I love that. I'm
Because
writing
we
that
talk,
down, Christine.
all right, this is our coaching moment. There's something about that word you used. That's the first time I've heard you say that. So in this moment, I think this is really important. It's sensation is what's the distinguishing experience that we want to create. And when you make the choice about what sensation are you listening to, you open the door. And I love how you say it's a whisper, because one of the things I really believe when you are going to amplify your marketing message is that it starts there. It starts with the whisper. And we often say to our clients, I might be the first safe space you whisper to. But when you step in to build capability, confidence, connection, and capacity, it starts to roar and it starts to build momentum. And that's where the amplification really comes from. So you're saying step into sensation and recognize that the quiet voice doesn't need to be loud.
No, it really doesn't. I think so many times we think that there has to be, like, it has to be this, this loudspeaker in our ear telling us what to do. But ultimately, what that's actually doing is that's tapping more into sort of that people pleaser within you that is seeking the external wisdom, that's seeking the external validation, when that inner wisdom, right? What's inside of you is all the introspection that you need, right? That it comes from within. And so many times we've, throughout the years and the people that have been in our life, we wind up silencing that voice. That's why it winds up being an actual whisper. So being able to really turn up that volume is such a valuable tool to gift yourself with if you ultimately really want to grow and feel the fulfillment in your life and your business that you so deeply desire.
And turning up the volume is a learned skill. I know you and I
Yes.
spent many time talking about this. And as you start to practice, as you start to build the muscle, what you don't realize, because that 1% snowballs in that compounding effect so quickly, is that you are in fact dialing up the impact, dialing up the confidence. And so let's talk about some practical strategies for doing this on a daily basis, because the habits are up to us to choose and us to curate. Where do we start?
Yeah, so there's about five that I typically will teach my clients and ones that I also implement myself on a daily basis. And the first one has to do with practicing mindfulness. And so, what I mean by that is paying attention to your thoughts, to your feelings, and going back to that bodily sensations, and doing so without judgment, just acknowledging them, giving them space to breathe. And notice where there are moments where you feel either in or out of alignment or resonance with that intuitive I can voice. And you have the opportunity to reframe your thoughts in those particular moments. And so I do that on a daily basis where I will pause and really pay attention to what feels in alignment versus what feels easy, what feels like something I've always done, but that ultimately I know it doesn't get me anywhere. The second thing that I do is really practice staying in a growth mindset. So, this is when I embrace obstacles, I embrace challenges, I see setbacks as opportunities for growth. What is the universe trying to teach me in this particular moment? And really trust that that intuitive I can voice is at the root of what it is that I am supposed to be growing from, right? I see it almost as though it's this glass ceiling that I've hit that I'm ready to break through. So when I cultivate that mindset shift, that's the moment where I'm actually really breaking through and hitting the floor of what my next level is, which I get very excited about. The next step that I do really is to ensure that I am in alignment with my values, which always ladder back to my purpose. So when my values are in alignment with my purpose, I always know that I am leaning into that yes, I can voice. And when I do that, it enables me really to set really clear intentions for what it is that I'm seeking to manifest, right? When I trust that I can, I always know that it is going to guide me in alignment with my values, that it is going to also align with the vision that I have to really step into the purpose that I have here in this lifetime. The fourth step that I also do is listen. I think we spend so much of our time wanting to react or jump into conversations. But really, what I have done over the last, gosh, I would say probably like 6 to 7 years is really pay attention to how it is that I am showing up in listening, not just to other people, but listening to the sensations in my body that really ultimately are my intuition. So, how and when? Well, in those moments of pause. So, when I gift myself with that particular silence, I'm actually gifting myself with the space to really reflect, to tune in, and to really discern what is in my highest and best in that next step on my journey. And then finally, my last step is really I set aside time multiple times throughout the day to connect with that intuitive I can voice, to really gift myself with silence. But if I'm, whether I'm writing or recording my podcast, or I have a group session, or I'm working with a private client, I know that multiple times throughout the day, I need to gift myself with moments of quiet because it enables me to get back into my own highest and best, to get back into my center, but also to be able to show up for those in my life that I know are counting on me for their guidance, right? And sometimes that's even with my own two children. And so I think that what these steps and really these strategies, and I hope that you guys have heard, is that this is something that I practice multiple times a day. It's not something that I've learned and boom, I'm done. I don't have to do it anymore. I'm doing it on a consistent basis, just like I go to the gym every single day and I work out and I exercise. So you have to do the same thing when you're leaning into that I can voice.
And I think there's an important part to this. It's the elegant simplicity of it. And at the same time, I love that you talk about we don't get clarity by putting this as a task in our day. And that is so true. We don't suddenly say, Tuesday at 2 o'clock, because I'm going to choose that I'm going to go do these 5 things, like everything is perfect. This is a habit stack, and a stack that is built through repetition, not just in the abyss of the days, but intentionally throughout the day. And when you do that, it starts to become second nature. And that's such a really important thing, because once you've cultivated familiarity with these new habits, you're going to use them, because there's a lot of uncertainty, and there are going to be things that the moment they happen, you choose, are those butterflies or is that a lead balloon in my stomach? Let's talk
Right.
about how you use these when things are not so rosy and we don't feel so in control of the wobbles of what it is we're experiencing in that moment.
Yeah. And, again, I have these moments almost, I wouldn't say necessarily every day, but I do have them. So again, it's going back to that mindfulness practice, right? Which is really about acknowledging those feelings of uncertainty and really getting to the bottom of what is going on here, like getting curious. I think so many times we are afraid of what it is that we are going to learn. I think that that's why a lot of us avoid these silent opportunities. But we see them as something to be afraid of instead of really seeing them as opportunities for growth and really getting curious about this. I have been experiencing some moments of uncertainty, even just this morning, about certain tasks that I have set for myself. And so what I've been doing is really sitting down with myself and saying, like, okay, what is really behind this, right? Where do I feel this in my body? What are the thoughts that I'm associating? What are the stories that I am telling myself? And so what I do, and what I hope you're hearing, is that I consciously choose to shift my mindset out of the fear of what is coming up, and I shift it into the curiosity. I allow myself to stay open because I see it as an opportunity for me to learn something. And it's also usually something that my clients are going to be learning at some point, and I'm being that example for them in that particular moment. So I really embrace these moments of uncertainty as a part of my journey. And because I have also fostered a trust of that intuitive I can voice, I also trust that my intuition is going to guide me towards clarity, towards resolution, by knowing that the more curious I get, the faster, okay, the faster that I will move through these moments of uncertainty. And so I encourage you all to just allow your thoughts to be just that. You don't have to be your thoughts. You have the choice to change, to shift, to pivot your thoughts in any given moment. And so I really would invite you to trust in what it is that is coming up and seeing it as another step to what is going to be your next level, and then taking action from that place, even when you don't know what is on the other side. Because I can tell you from not just my experience, but from many, many years of client experience, is that the moment that you trust yourself and you get confidence in your ability to navigate these uncertainties, to navigate any of life's challenges, you will continue to make the best, most empowered decisions that are going to serve you. You may not be able to see them now, but they will. You've just got to trust in what is on the other side.
What's so powerful is that so many people, because they have ignored the whisper for so long, honestly believe that they don't have intuition. That they're like, that's what some other people have. It's I wasn't in the lineup when they were giving that out. And the truth really is, and you and I are such strong believers of this, is that's utter BS and a broken belief system, because you were born with the intuition. You have it within, and over time, how ironic is the world and the universe and God, because he will constantly be revisiting the choices to say, listen to the whisper,
Yes.
listen to the whisper. And I love that you say, if you want to shift away from fear and you don't yet know what's on the other side, the only way to build certainty of yourself is to lean into I can hear, believe, take action, and embody a faith that this is for the ultimate good and I'm prepared to say yes. And that's why Yes, I Can is such a big part of the movement. I know you are personally creating in your business. You are an amazing human being, and you know, I'm such a fan. But talk to me about what's working for you right now in your business, because you are on a real big mission of creating your second seven-figure business after saying the last one no longer serves me because I listened and my I can said it served its purpose. It's time to shift to something new.
Yeah, a lot of what is working for me right now is my daily commitment to practicing amplifying my intuition and really aligning my actions with what that sensation in my body is telling me to do. And so I am constantly in this place where I am, it's almost like I feel like every day I look at it as being almost like this it's this new experience for me, but yet there's this underlying confidence that I know exactly what to do. I used to be somebody who needed everything scripted and written out, and that's how I built my last business. And the way that it's really working for me now is just trusting that it's going to come, that I trust that the guidance is going to support me in navigating any challenge that comes my way, that it is going to support me in making decisions that I know are in alignment with the movement and the purpose that I have in this life. And one of the biggest things that is actually working for me right now is really leaning into being vulnerable with my audience, sharing with them what has really been going on and how it is that I have gotten to this point. In less than a year, I have released a seven-figure business. I have managed to work through the remaining grief that I had about my mom passing away. I've built a brand new six-figure business, and I've completely changed the team that I have that is supporting me. I mean, literally, in probably 9 months, that is what has been going on in my world, maybe even less than that. And so not every decision has been one that has really been planned. It's that I've been staying open to what has been coming my way. I mean, even you fell into my lap because I found you in another podcast. And I knew that there was a reason that I was listening to this random episode, and here you were. And so what is really truly working for me is trusting that the right people are coming into my life at the exact, perfectly imperfect moments, not when I expect them, but when the universe knows that it is the right moment for me. So I am going to continue to honor what the universe is sending me, which is in alignment with what my intuition is telling me to pay attention to. I'm going to continue to celebrate the big and the small wins in my business and in my life, and just continue to stay open to the journey and to stay with my head held high, and knowing that the more authentic I am, the more abundance that is going to continue to come into my life and into my business. So that really truly is what has been working for me most recently.
It's incredible when you have the certainty that says everything is solvable. When you know that the person who is responsible and has the gifts to solve it is the person that looks at you back in the mirror. You have the answers within. You're not intended to be on the journey by yourself. And that does mean there are some epic, oh dear Lord moments. This I would like to undo, but it is also that 5-step framework that you go back to that says, I will build the muscle and I will walk my talk. Wendy, how do people find you?
Everybody can find me on social media, and my handle is at Wendy Paige Sterling. I also have my own amazing podcast, which Christine has been a guest on, actually. It's called the Power in the Pause podcast. It is available on every single platform, and you can also get some really amazing free resources on my website, wendypagesterling.com.
Guys, go connect to this amazing human being that I am blessed to both call friend as well as client. She is going to help you make those shifts, not once in a blue moon, but consistently, to say, I'm building the certainty of my future, and I'm listening to a skill I was innately born with. I'm going to make it a big growing muscle to fuel that growth. This has been Amplify Your Marketing Message. Thank you for being my guest, Wendy. Everyone, please connect to her. We will see you all on our next episode. We'll see you there.
Bye.
That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell-Rappin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrappin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.